you gotta get therapy.
With Rula?
You rock. Let's have fun.
There's some really good ones. A lot of them are really fun.
You guys, say hello. I had a great audition today, and I'm super excited to see how that goes. I have no idea what to say. Okay, and I'm back. I am starting this over, and I've done this quite a few times where I get an idea, I want to do a vlog, I want to do a whatever, and I don't really know. I'm like, what's my niche? What's my this? What's my this? What's my this? And what I've come to find is that I am trying to essentially find a way out of being me. And not a way out of it, but like just being myself seems like it's not enough. Not in a life way, but in a, is being me interesting enough to carry a social media platform, if that makes sense. So I'm like, okay, I'm an artist. I act, I write, I create, I work on a team with my sister. I am an artist. And I think that is something that doesn't consume my identity by the end of the day, but it is something that I do identify with. And a part of, I will say that it's a part of my identity that I want to get back to exploring. I think in college, go indie, it was very easy to live in that because that's all I had to worry about it, science. But and even in grad school I got to be that, and I was always at shows and I was in class and rehearsals, and so it's very easy to live in that identity when you're actively participating in it. And then grad school ends and you move to LA and you have to get with the program, and you have to figure out how to balance being an artist with making money so that you can keep a roof over your head. And then you're, figuring things out. You're not booking anything. You need to make more money. The rent's high. The count's negative. Like, there's a lot that goes into it. And I think it's been really hard to say for the past few years, having a job has surpassed being an artist. And I get to try to fit in being an artist to having to make money, keep a roof over my head, groceries, classes, I need new headshots, I need this, I gotta book this, I gotta do this, I gotta try. So it's just, I've kind of been an artist, but it hasn't been at the forefront of who I am, and now I want to reintroduce that into my life. So I am recalibrating. There's a pepper here. I made a salad. I'm recalibrating when it comes in. I think there's, you can see my onion too. I am recalibrating when it comes to fashion and daily life and what I spend my time doing. And I think the biggest thing that's been able to help with that is I booked a show, which I think I probably by now posted a video of, but if you have not seen clips from it and things, feel free to check my social media. But I did a show in New York, and I was really proud of that work. It was a great show. It was like the interactive theater experience, but it cost me more than I was expecting, and I went from kind of making double what I needed to making half, and that is a little crazy when you're paying for a 2-bedroom in a West Loop to do, because I still had to manage all my finances back home and then manage them here as well, and it was costly. But in doing that, I was able to connect with some brilliant artists, and I've made friends that I will keep forever. I've done some workshops. I have been able to book commercial work and things out here, which was fun. And quite recently, I took a workshop with Berg Studios, which is based in LA, but they do different things in different places. And that workshop, one, proved to me that I probably need to get back to Los Angeles and go at it from a different mindset. But two, it kind of filled in the missing link of why I'm like, okay, I can book commercial work. I book theater pretty well. Why can I not get film and TV? Why can't I book the co-star? Why am I not booking the guest star? And it never occurred to me that I was auditioning the wrong way. And by that, I mean, I'm not acting for camera. I am doing a theater performance for a camera and not acting for the camera and actively communicating with the camera. And I didn't realize that. And they don't teach you that in grad school. Like, they're not like, oh, and especially since I did grad school overseas, it wasn't really the most important part of that experience. And I will admit, I was a little angry at first. I'm like, why did I not know I was doing it wrong this whole time? Why did no one ever say, like, hey, by the way, why are you auditioning like that? But I know it now, and you can't get upset with things you don't know. But once you know it, you have to see it through. So now I'm in a really cool place where I'm like, okay, I now know what I need to work on. I have a plan. I know who I am way more than I did when I was 24, living in Los Angeles. So, like, now that I'm 34, recently had my birthday, me and my twin. What can I do now? Now that I have all this information, this wisdom, and I've had this 10 years, and this might kind of be the place where people start to go to grad school. And so it's like, what do I do with all of this stuff? And it's like, go back. So I will be kind of chronicling that journey of getting back to LA and moving and taking classes specifically designed for film and TV and working with my agent and just really getting myself out there in a way that I haven't. I think also part of what helped this too was being able to take the time to just focus on the show. I didn't have to work in the way that I did before. And I'm like, oh my God, I have all this time on my hands. I can write a play. I can finish this. Me and my sister finished screenplays. I'm like, oh my God, all this time. And that's when I realized that I'm going to have to figure something else out, because being at work is kind of getting in the way. So hopefully this social media situation can give it to the point where that becomes my work. And it's also great on-camera experience. And I'm noticing that when I'm doing this, I completely understand how that works. It's for some when it's the added pressure of the script and this other, it's like, oh, well, who am I supposed to be now? And it's like, just the same lesson I'm learning here is the same lesson that I'm learning. And it's like, be you. They want to see you. And I hope to find exactly who Zuri is and how to translate that to camera. So that is like my little introduction into what this is going to be, hopefully for the last time. And I won't say that because I think it's important that you start over as many times as you need to, as long as you don't quit. So I'm not quitting. I'm starting over, and we'll see where this gets me. So yeah, if you want to see that, stay tuned for more. I'm going to try to get a video up once a week of just like my week, my creative process, my when I have auditions, what I'm doing during the day, like a daily vlog. But for an artist, I think sometimes I see, I'm like, okay, she does lifestyle, she does this. I want to do something like that, but I want it centered around artistry. So what does it look like to go to an artist retreat? What does it look like to move and go to class? What does class look like? What does the daily life of an artist look like? And I think by committing myself to centering my social media around that, it's going to force me into doing it. And so by proxy, I am an artist because I'm living the life of an artist, because I need to live the life of an artist so I can vlog the life of an artist. So here's to being an artist, and see you guys soon. I'm not going to bite that.